How many faces, vertices, and edges does each prism contain? Do you notice any patterns in these quantities? To help us answer these questions, we will complete a table of the number of faces, vertices, and edges for each prism. Remember, a face is a single surface, a vertex is a corner point, and an edge is a line segment that connects two vertices. Based off the data found, we will now look for patterns and relationships amongst these prisms. Let's start by focusing on the triangular prism. A triangular prism has 5 faces, 6 vertices, and 9 edges. Next, a rectangular prism has 6 faces, 8 vertices, and 12 edges. A pentagonal prism has 7 faces, 10 vertices, and 15 edges. Finally, a hexagonal prism has 8 faces, 12 vertices, and 18 edges. Now look at the table. In order to find a pattern, focus on how the data changes from row to row and note any similarities. Specifically, notice that the number of faces increases by 1 from row to row, the number of vertices increases by 2 from row to row, and the number of edges increases by 3 from row to row. Therefore, we can conclude that for each additional face on the prism gains 2 vertices and 3 edges. When we compare the number of edges to the sums of the faces and vertices, we see another pattern. In each case, notice that the equations are balanced if we add 2 to the number of edges. Therefore, we can conclude that the sum of the faces and vertices is always 2 more than the number of edges.
Great. So, as you could see, the number of faces plus vertices equals the number of edges plus 2. So we can say faces plus vertices equals edges plus 2, right? So if we look at this example here, right, we have this triangular cone that has 1, 2, and then that backside 3, and this base 4, so 4 faces. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges, right? So if we plug that into this equation, 4 plus 4 equals 6 plus 2, so 8 equals 8. Awesome. So now let's use it in case we don't know all of the things. To make polyhedron-shaped game pieces using To make polyhedron-shaped game pieces using a 3D printer, Juanita enters the number of faces, edges, and vertices into a program. If she wants a game piece with 20 faces and 30 edges, how many vertices does the piece have? So we have the equation, faces plus vertices equals edges plus 2. Now we know she wants 20 faces, we're not sure about the vertices, and 30 edges, right? So we set up our equation, can simplify that to get 20 plus v equals 32. Subtract 20 from both sides, and it should be that v equals 12, right? Or 12 vertices. All right. Then solids also have what are called cross sections. Cross sections are the intersection of a plane and a solid. And when I think of a cross section, I like to think of when you go to the deli section of a grocery store and you ask for sliced meat. They slice these really thin slices of solids, right? And that is a cross section. So you're cutting these really paper thin slices out of a solid and you get a shape, right? So let's look at this. Planes M and N intersect the regular octahedron as shown in the side and top views. What is the shape of the cross section each plane made? Well, let's first look at M. Okay, so M, it cuts it, and we are getting this shape, right? So M creates this diamond shape. N's cutting this from a different perspective, and we get this shape, which looks like a square, right? So N gets a square cross section. What do you think the name of the shape of this cross section would be? Well, you should have selected pentagon, okay, a 5-sided figure here. A plane parallel to the base intersects here. So if it's parallel to the base, right, it would come through and it would look something like this. So if it's parallel to the base, you get a triangular cross section or a triangle. So if it's parallel to the base, you get a cross section that's a triangle. All right, last one. What do you think a plane perpendicular to the base would be? Well, perpendicular to the base would look something kind of like this. So a rectangle. Awesome. Please email me with questions. It's always good to hear from you. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.